Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Head. Hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. We're back here. Going to go through the list of all these players. My goodness. All these players that have signed. A lot of players on this list that haven't signed. And there's so many other players not on my list that are still out there. And there's some that have signed. And this goes really as far back as September, my list. So this is a long list. So buckle up. First up, as you know, was Juan Soto. He signed the largest contract in professional baseball and professional sports. 15 years, $765 million with the New York Mets. And got his jersey behind me. And he is going to be awesome. It's going to be fun to watch over the next 5 years. He's going to be great. After that, we'll see. But more than that, I'm talking about. He's still 34, so another 8 years. He's going to be awesome. The first half of that contract is going to be just out of sight. Next up is Corbin Burnes. He signed in the middle of the night with the Diamondbacks on a pretty large contract. I would mention about Juan Soto. He had a qualifying offer. And I would thank the New York Yankees, of course. The New York Yankees, of course, the Mets minor league team and the Bronx were able to sort of get him prepared for his new his new career with the New York Mets. I thank them. I thank Aaron Boone for the work that he did. Thank you, sir. Pete Alonso, speaking of the New York Mets, he is unsigned still. I would expect that he will sign within the next 2 weeks, around the time between pitchers and catchers and position players report. I believe he will go back to the Mets. He only has 2 teams. I know that John Heyman, the Scott Boras whisperer, is putting out that the Reds are out there. But if, like I said, really, at this point, John Heyman has his ear to the grindstone like Kevin Costner had in Field of Dreams. He's just waiting for that voice to tell him, the Cincinnati Reds. And that's what he's hearing. It's just a bunch of crap. Reds aren't going to go after him. I'd be shocked. Alex Bregman, another guy. I don't know where he's going, but I would expect that the Mets are crossed off. Apparently, the Blue Jays have contract offers to both Pete Alonso, which is a 3-year deal, which he doesn't want to sign with the Mets, and Alex Bregman has a 6-year deal with the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are a last place team, and even all the moves that they've been trying to make, Max Scherzer is not going to get them to first. Not 97-year-old Max Scherzer. But Houston still is in the ballpark, so to speak, for Bregman. But he could go to Toronto. That is a possibility. You put Toronto down as a team because I don't have them down here. Willie Adames signed a big contract with the Giants. Good for the Giants. Shane Bieber re-signed with the Guardians. He had been gotten Tommy John surgery. He re-signed with them on a 1-year deal. Jack Flaherty, still unsigned. I would expect that he should sign. There's so many players that are not signed. I wonder, is there collusion going on in baseball that these players are not signing? I don't know. But I've heard the Mets a little bit. Blake Snell, he signed with the Dodgers. Hyun-Sung Kim, one of the Kims, he signed with the Rays. Anthony Santander signed with the Blue Jays. Matt Chapman signed with the Giants back in September. Will Smith, the lefty reliever, he's unsigned. Max Kepler signed with the Phillies. Ross Stripling, unsigned. Justin Turner, unsigned. Max Scherzer signed with the Blue Jays. Max Fried signed with the Yankees at a desperate move. As you know, the Yankees were so desperate to change the narrative after basically having their lunch stolen by the New York Mets and Steve Cohen that they signed Max Fried in a fair contract because obviously they gave him, what do you give him 8 years for? He's 31 years old. He's got all these injuries. This is what the Mets aren't going to do now. Sign these kinds of contracts for pitching. Carlos Estevez, the other day, signed with the Royals. Again, the Yankees signed 97-year-old Paul Goldschmidt to a 1-year deal. Kyle Hendricks signed with the Angels. Aroldis Chapman signed with the Red Sox. Christian Walker signed with the Astros on a 3-year deal. He was a player I thought the Mets should have considered acquiring. They didn't do that. Walker Buehler signed with the Red Sox on a 1-year deal. Michael Conforto signed a 1-year deal with the Dodgers. Lost a ton of money since he turned down the offer the Mets offered him. Frankie Montas signed a 2-year deal with the New York Mets. And some of these players I'm talking about, they're going to be moved in trades possibly. Framber Valdez was discussed in this offseason. He's not getting moved. He'll be the big pitching free agent next offseason. Carlos Correa's name was mentioned. Not getting traded. Tyler O'Neill signed with the Orioles. Gio Urshela signed with the Athletics. Patrick Corbin, that'd be interesting to see where he goes, because he pitches every 5th day. But he doesn't pitch well sometimes. But he takes the ball. A bad team. He would be perfect for the White Sox. Because he doesn't complain. He pitches every 5th day. That's the perfect guy. And he can anchor your staff. You don't have to worry about him getting hurt. Justin Wilson signed with the Reds. Jurickson Profar, he signed with the Braves. It's the big move the Braves made. Braves got a lot of players taken from them this offseason. I don't know how good the Braves are going to be. They might be taking a bit of a step back. Jesse Winker re-signed with the Mets. Sean Manaea re-signed with the Mets. Luis Severino signed a 3-year, $75 million contract with the Ghetto A's of Sacramento. Jose Quintana. He's still out there. Shockingly still out there. Some teams should sign him. A good team that wants a 5th starter will make his starts. I would mention the one thing about Quintana is Quintana will pitch. He'll either pitch really well or pitch badly. That's why he's a 500 pitcher. But you know, if he has his stuff that day, and he'll pitch big in a big spot. Luis Castillo has not been traded. Doesn't look like he's getting traded. Excuse me. Teoscar Hernandez signed with the Dodgers. Justin Verlander, the 99-year-old Justin Verlander with that hot wife of his, signed with the Giants. Gleyber Torres signed with the Tigers. Nathan Eovaldi re-signed with the Rangers. Michael Walker re-signed with the Royals. Tanner Scott signed with the Dodgers. Travis d'Arnaud, the Angels. Yusei Kikuchi, the Angels. Kirby Yates with the Dodgers. Jeff Hoffman, the Blue Jays. Clay Holmes. The Mets signed him on a 3-year deal. He's going to be a starter. That should be interesting, to say the least. Matthew Boyd signed with the Cubs. Jock Peterson signed with the Rangers. Nick Pivetta, a lot of talks the Mets might be interested in him. He might go back to the Red Sox. He's got a qualifying offer on him. I don't believe the Mets will sign him, in my opinion. Nick Martinez signed with took the qualifying offer from the Reds. AJ Minter signed with the Mets. Tomoyuki Sugano signed with the Orioles. Roki Sasaki, and a deal that was possibly signed a year ago, signed with the Dodgers. That investigation will go nowhere, by the way. Shinazuki Ogasawara signed with the Nationals. Garrett Crochet got traded to the Red Sox in a big trade, the big pitching trade in the offseason. Carlos Santana went back to the Guardians. Let's see. Blake Trinan signed with the Dodgers. Luis Robert Jr., I've heard Pittsburgh and the Reds. Nolan Arenado's still out there, but the teams is the same. The Phillies, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Angels, the Yankees. I'll put Houston back on. They had a deal. And because he's got a no-trade clause, he turned down the deal. Austin Hayes signed with the Reds. Reds are going to be good this year. Expect them to really compete for that division. Jordan Romano, the closer, was signed by the Phillies to be the closer. Jeffrey Springs got traded to the Ghetto A's, the homeless A's, and the homeless Rays. That is terrible. The two teams in Major League Baseball do not have a home. And I throw that on the feet of Rob Manfred. That is on him, quite frankly. Josh Naylor, and they're both playing in they're both playing in minor league ballparks. My goodness, it's terrible. Josh Naylor got traded to the Diamondbacks. Cody Bellinger And a salary dump. Signed with the got traded to the Yankees. Devin Williams got traded to the Yankees. That's a good move for the Yankees. The Yankees will actually have a real closer. They haven't had a closer in a long time. Ryan Presley got traded to the Cubs, which was a big move for the Cubs. The Cubs will be a little bit better this year with that billion-dollar manager. Kyle Tucker got traded to the Cubs. He'll be the big free agent next offseason. Every team will be on him. Dylan Cease, prime candidate to get traded, and he's been talked a lot. We've heard Boston, the Mets prominently, the Cubs prominently, Phillies, Cleveland, Baltimore, Minnesota, and Atlanta. I believe he will be traded. When? I don't know. The Mets seem to be a possibility, but the Mets will have to give up Luis Angel Acuna. Jesus Luzardo got traded to the Phillies. There's a bunch of Mets names. I don't know if some of these guys are going to get moved. Jeff McNeil, I've heard Boston, Seattle, Oakland, Milwaukee, and the Angels. Starlin Marte, I've heard Oakland, Seattle, Pittsburgh, and the Royals. And the Mets had sort of thought about bringing in making a deal with the Royals, but that kind of fizzled out. Brett Beatty could be moved. I've heard Seattle, Oakland, the Angels, Miami, Chicago, and the Brewers. Alexis Diaz was discussed a little bit. I put two names here, the Mets in Arizona. Marcus Stroman, one of the shortest men in baseball, and probably the worst clubhouse guy in baseball. I've heard the Cubs going back there, so with the Yankees and the Angels. Josh Bell signed with the Nationals. And Gavin Lux, let's finish with Gavin Lux. For a player that signed, he signed with the Reds. And the new name on this board, on this list, is Michael King. And there's a ton of teams on him. He might not get moved now because they avoided arbitration with him. And they gave him an option for next year. So these are the players that were moved this year. These are the players that signed this offseason. And we still got at least 2 weeks to go, at least a week and a half till pitchers and catchers. And a little bit more time after that. And, of course, opening day is, 6 weeks away, 7 weeks away. So, hopefully you like this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.